alcohol, it is a terrible existence. Every day that person is in a confusion. Because alcohol is drugs in liquid form. They try to separate drugs. They say the drug addicts, the drug dealers. But they say, okay, have a nice beer. And they propagate the beer, but alcohol is drugs in liquid form. An alcoholic is a drug addict. It's just another form of it. So we have a way out to help people to come out of this and to reclaim a lifestyle through Tawbah, through sincere repentance. We can do this. What does it mean? What is the Tawbah? What does this repentance really mean? It is self-analysis and reconstruction. That is the weapon of the Muslims. You know, they say we have weapon of mass destruction. We don't have it. What really only weapon we have is maybe a shawarma or something, or samosas. What is the weapon of mass destruction? What is it really that Muslims have that makes us so dangerous when they're in their think tanks and they look at us? You destroy the capital, you kill the leaders, you ruin the masjids, destroy the economy, and they're coming back again. There's more of them. And now people from a race or a group you never thought would be Muslims, they're becoming Muslims. In America now there are Hispanic-speaking people, Spanish-speaking people in Central America, Mexico, becoming Muslims. And we never thought they would become Muslims. Because the Catholic Church in that region, every place I went to in Honduras, Costa Rica, Nicaragua, Puerto Rico, all around these places, you look and you see on the corner, there is a church, there is alcohol, and pig. Lahm al-khinzir. These three things everywhere. And then the history they say in Spanish history. They give a terrible history of the Moors. They say the Moors, Moros. And they give a negative history. So their whole understanding was distorted. But by the mercy of Allah Azza wa Jal, they are now seeing themselves in Islam. We never could have thought this could have, but now thousands are coming into Islam. So we have this opportunity. And then in our own community, and I have seen this, I started a class for new Muslims, for people who have embraced Islam, and I found many Muslims are coming to the class. 25 years old, 30 years old, a Muslim sitting down there, and he acts just like someone who just took Shahada. So I said, what's your story? And he said, I was raised in a Muslim family, but I did not embrace Islam till I was 25 years old. I just prayed because my father said pray. I fasted because my mother said fast. And that person then embraced Islam. They analyzed themselves. They were guided self-analysis and reconstruction. But that means if our Tawbah is real, we have to first recognize that what we have done is wrong. I'tiraf bil-dhunub. We have to recognize that nationalism is filth. We have to recognize tribalism or pride for my nation and tribe. It is jahiliyyah. We have to know our language. Teach the children your natural language. Let them know your nasab, your genealogy. You have to know this. But if we become arrogant about our language, or arrogant about our genealogy, then this is ignorance. This is the jahiliyyah. So we have to recognize that what these actions are wrong actions. Then we have to turn to Allah Azza wa Jal and ask for forgiveness, sincerely asking for forgiveness. But that's not enough. Some people, they just ask, they say, oh Allah, forgive Tawbah, Tawbah, and they do it again next week. That's not repentance. Repentance is the intention not to return to the sin. The intention, strong intention has to be made. And when you see that sin again, when you see it again, it has to make you feel disgusted. You have to feel disgusted when you hear it. You hear somebody calling somebody a racial name, talking against another Muslim, putting down the imam. Many people, they think that they're scholars and they're cursing the imams, attacking the imam. The imam is everything. As our sheikh was telling us, even the imam has to know how to fix cars and everything. Like he's got to be an all-purpose person. Like he's somebody, like an angel from out of space. Cursing the imams, attacking the leadership. We have to make dua for the leadership, support them, give advice, strong advice. Don't ever leave the leadership. If they're doing something wrong, give them advice. But it's support. It's not attack. Because if we bring down the leader, we bring down ourselves. We will bring ourselves down. So, the intention never to return to the sin. Also, we need to do compensation. If we have done something wrong, we may have harmed an individual. If you scandalize somebody, you may be harming that person. But the question is, if you stole something from a store, $500 worth of goods, and you want to return it to the store, okay, I wouldn't walk in the store and say, Astaghfirullah, I stole your money, because he's probably going to call the police. But you may send the money back to the person. This is compensation. Radd al-madhalim. You're giving it back to the person. But now, if you scandalize the person, you did namima against that person, how do you pay him back? It's a difficult question. We had a case of an imam. We have an imam, he's an active brother. He's an active imam. He does amr bil ma'ruf wa nahy al munkar. And so he found out that some of the Muslims were in this discotheque, this thing they call Dark Side in Cape Town. They had 7 levels of dancing and raving around. And they're taking all designer drugs. They're taking the drugs and they're dancing in the middle of the night. And they made it looks like, it has qubba, it looks like a masjid. And they made it for the Muslims too. The Muslims were going to there, raving around and dancing. And then at 2 o'clock in the morning, he's high, and he comes to the little restaurant, and he says to the person, do you have halal food? You have halal. That's the contradiction in their mind. The Sheikh, Jazahullah Khair, he found out his students in his madrasa were in the discotheque. They were there. What did he do? He went with his jubba and everything, he went inside the discotheque. And they're on the floor. He went in there and he grabbed them by their necks. Right? And he carried them outside. Now, somebody is driving by in their car and they see the sheikh going inside of Dark Side. They said, there it is. There it is. And they start to say this, Kemal, I saw Sheikh Fulan Fulan. He was at the discotheque. He was dancing. I saw him. And the rumor continues and continues and continues. By the time it reaches the other side of the city, he committed zina inside of the place. Did you go to the imam and ask him why he was there? Or did you ask somebody else about him? If you went to his community, you would find out why he was there. But namima, the shaitan, wa'iyadu billah, will take this word and enlargen the word to destroy the reputation. And people don't realize that the Prophet ﷺ said, La yadkhulul jannah namam. That the person who's carrying this scandal, this namima, this hatred, this false witness, that person will not enter paradise. And so, how do you compensate the sheikh? Think about this. If you said something about somebody else, then you have to go in back and you have to say something good about that person and continue to say something good until you destroy everything bad that was said about him. That's how you have to compensate him now. You have to now say something good and correct what you said, but actively wipe out the wrong that was done. And so compensation for the things that we have done, and then analyzing ourselves, analyze our eyes, our hands, our feet, everything that we do, and trying to set up an understanding, how will we stop ourselves from the sins? self-analysis and reconstruction. This is the greatest advantage we have today. That Allah Azza wa Jal would forgive us. Inna Allah yaghfiru dhunuba jami'an. Allah will forgive all sins. And so in this life, if we've done something, we need to make tawbah. And I humbly say to you and myself, with the condition of Masjid al-Aqsa, we need to make group tawbah. Every Muslim is supposed to make tawbah. Because that masjid is not supposed to be in the hands of Zionism. This masjid is waqaf. This is the responsibility from the time of Sayyidina Umar ibn al-Khattab